Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Talk Virgin to Me. We are going to start at the very beginning. Name that musical. Do you even know what it is? I didn't even start from the beginning of that song, but I sang the part that I wanted to sing. We're going back to basics, people. So we're actually going to start at the beginning and talk about if Virgin Voyages and how and if it's right for you. So what we're going to talk about today is, should you sail on Virgin Voyages? And we're going to hopefully answer that for you. So I did do an episode, back in the beginning, one of my very first episodes. It was about a year and a half ago that I did this episode, but I figured that I might want to do it again because, some things have changed and maybe I want to add a couple things to say, hey, maybe you want to do this. But we did just talk about this too. I did a live on Virgin Voyages Cruise Tips and Deals where we talked about why not to book Virgin Voyages. And I have to be honest, there really isn't a reason why not to. One of the things that people do talk about is the money, but I can debunk that money for you if you want to call me. I can show you why it's better to book Virgin. But let's talk about why you should. So one of the things that I love about it, obviously, is the no kids. So if you're looking to have an adults only vacation, voyage, cruise, whatever you want to call it, this is your place. So there are no children. It is 18 and up. So sometimes when you see those 18-year-olds walk around, you're kind of like, what? I don't know. Who are you? How'd you get here? Are you 16? Because they really do look super young compared to the crowd. But don't stress because honest to God, you probably never see them. Like it's not what you think. And there's maybe 3 of them on board, honestly, and they're usually super well behaved because it is an adults only cruise. So there are no children on board. And the nice part about the no children on board, it's one of my favorite things is that, and I get asked this question a lot, is what's the vibe like? The vibe is actually really cool because when you put adults at sea with a little bit of alcohol and no children running around, nobody that they have to chase and figure out, where's my kid at? Everyone changes. Like everyone's personality changes. You're talking to people walking down the hall. Like you ever see those high school movies where the guy thinks he's cool and he's like chatting with people as he's walking by? That's you on Virgin Voyages. You're literally like, hey, nice shirt. And they're like, yeah, nah, good for you. Like, and literally that's what happens. No joke. You talk to people as they pass you. It's the weirdest thing. And you'll never see that at any other cruise line. At least I don't see it on any other cruise line. Do you meet people at a bar at other cruise lines? Yes. But the amount of talking that happens between adults without their phones in their faces is unbelievable on this cruise. So it's actually a really cool experience. And I like to say it's like a social experiment. Like everyone's actually speaking to each other. But the vibe is really, really cool. Like I said, it has a super chill vibe. It's not a party cruise. I would say that, my assistant Ariana was actually asking me before we started this episode. She said to me, what do you think has changed? And I was like, honestly, I think it was more party before. She's like, really? And I was like, yeah, definitely before it was a much more party vibe. And I do think that it's chilled out a bit, but that's just me. I could be wrong. Maybe I've chilled out as I got older in the last 2 years. I don't know. But I do feel like the vibe isn't as super party as it was before. So if that scares you, if you're like, I'm not cool enough, because I do read that in our group, in our Virgin Voyages Cruise Tips and Deal group, I do read people be like, I'm not cool enough. I guarantee you're cool enough. Trust me on that one. If I can be there, so can you, because I'm certainly not cool enough. But it is not the party vibe that you think. So don't let that let you shy away from it. Because it's so not as party friendly as you think. Now, there are tons of fun parties, so I also don't want you to think it's like this boring, like, put your pinkies up sort of cruise. It's definitely not that. I think it's a very, 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 very good mix of party and chill, honestly, and adults, which is fantastic. So there's no sticky fingers at the buffet. There's no snot rags all over the floor, which is always nice. And there's no smelly diapers in the bathroom. So hopefully I just sold you on the no kids vibe. But that is definitely one of the things that I love about it is the no kids. It really does change it completely, and it opens up a lot of things for the adults that you just wouldn't see. I mean, you do, like I said, meet people in the bar all the time, and you'll meet people, in random places. In the elevator is one of my favorite places to meet people. I'm always like, hey, new friends, because you just start talking to people in the elevator. So super cool, super fun. And then of course, always there's the solo sailors that aren't just, they're not single. They could be single, but they may not be single. And they just want to sail solo. So there's that solo party vibe as well, where they have this great solo group, I should say. And it's great for solo cruisers. So like if you're just trying to venture out and it's your first time and you're like, I don't know about sailing solo, this is a cruise line to do it. They really, really reach out and make sure that you feel connected with everyone else and don't kind of get lost, like a wallflower in Virgin and like everyone else is, you're like, oh, everyone else's experience is different than mine. It is not like that. So know that if you're solo, don't shy away from it. This is actually the cruise line that you want to do. But back to the party vibe. Definitely not a party vibe, but the adults only they really nail it in the adults only category. So it's a great mix. You can do wellness and chill and have a really nice vacation or vibe or, time basically, or you can party to the break of dawn, I guess, or party till you get kicked off. So that's, obviously if that's what you're looking for, you're going to get it. Now, how do I explain this part? So a lot of people are like, so what is it luxury? Is it not? Is it, I think it's a good happy medium in terms of like luxury, oh gosh, what would be the other word other than luxury? I think it's a good happy medium. I wouldn't say that Virgin's not luxury. They used to use back in the day, they used to call themselves a luxe cruise, which I guess it's kind of like short for luxury, meaning like they want to be in the luxury category, but they're not really there because it's not, it's also a relaxed vibe, like a chill vibe. So they created the cruise off of Richard Branson, who does have a very, very chill vibe. So like the man is super easygoing. Like he likes to just have fun, have a good time, but not so much stress and whatnot. So that's kind of what the cruise line's like. It's kind of like, you do you want to come to, dinner in a polo shirt and some shorts, come to dinner in a polo shirt and some shorts. There is no, what do I want to say? There's no expectation. There's no rules. No one's going to look at you funny if you come in your t-shirt and you just, like, I'm tired. I was, laying on the beach all day today. I don't want to get dressed up. You just want to come in your t-shirt and shorts or your t-shirt and pants. Like no one's going to look at you and be like, you're out. But the food is going to seem like it's luxury. So there's that. That's where I'm going with this whole like, gosh, is it luxury? Is it not? The food is going to seem like it's luxury because the specialty dining is completely included. So all of that food is so good and so upscale and so well thought out. It's all Michelin star chefs. So it's well thought out. And the menus are just unbelievable. Like things that you would never see. Like honestly, some of the stuff, one of the restaurants, Test Kitchen, that's very hard to find on, at sea. That concept is unbelievable. It doesn't get a good enough, rap, I guess. It's like everyone kind of gives it a hard time because the plates are small and it's very Test Kitchen-y. So basically the concept of it, if you don't know, is, the fact that it's just one menu, one line, one ingredient basically. And then that dish comes out and the waiter explains it to you and says, this is your mushroom dish and here's what's made in your mushroom dish, and explains it what it is. And then you eat it. So you don't know really what's in it. So all you know is what's on the menu. It'll say mushroom, scallop, chicken, and it's just one-liners, beets, scallops. And then when the dish comes out, the waiter will explain it. So Test Kitchen, meaning that it's, gosh, how do you explain that? Like, meaning that it's like, experiment basically, right? It's like an experiment and it's really fun. The whole thing is really, really cool. And of course the presentation is amazing as always. So, yeah, it's great. So yeah, the luxury, it's not luxury. It's definitely luxe. And I think they really try to give you luxury, but have a super chill vibe and a cool vibe at that, not like a laid back vibe, basically. So that's my opinion. I love it. I love that it has that, you could totally be super luxe if you want to be, or you can be chill. It's basically you do you, which is nice. So if that's something you want to do, you're never going to get stuck having to wear a tux. You're never going to have to be like, is this dress up night? So all other cruise lines, if you're used to cruising, you might say to yourself, oh my gosh, when is, dress up night? When is fancy formal night? There is no fancy formal night unless you want it to be fancy formal night. And that's okay. You can have your own fancy formal night. Guess what? No one is going to look at you crazy. They're going to think you got married probably because you're in your tux and you might be in your gown, but no one's going to look at you funny and be like, hey, what are they wearing? Because no one looks at the people wearing t-shirts funny and being like, what are they wearing those t-shirts to dinner? Not a soul does that. So that's a nice part, that it's a super chill vibe, but you get that really cool experience with all the great food and the service and that and whatnot. So that's another thing that is great about Virgin. So one of the other things that I want to point out, that normally on a cruise, staying with food, normally on a cruise you have a buffet. There are no buffets on Virgin. So sticking with that food theme that we just kind of chatted about, there are no buffets because they try to make everything fresh for you, and everything is fresh made. It's made to order. Basically, you walk up and you're like, hey, I'd like this panini. Can I have that? I'm trying to think of a good one. Well, they have a turkey one. They also have a tomato mozzarella panini, and they'll make it for you right there. It's not just sitting there where they grab the tongs and they're like, here. They'll actually make it for you. So I love that about them. Same thing with a salad. They have a full salad bar that they, serve you. So I like to call it a glorified food court. I know that sounds terrible. Most people are like, a food court, you think of like sticky benches and tables and like, ketchup left over on the table. I mean, this is what I think of when I think of a food court. This is not what it is like, so I hate explaining it that way. It's a glorified food court, but there's little eateries within the food court. So like there's the sushi place, there's a salad place, there's a fruit station, bakery, and the bakery doesn't have just sweets. It has like sausage rolls and there's this bread that it's not pizza per se, but it's kind of like pizza, like a focaccia bread with like sometimes prosciutto on top of it, but no sauce, just kind of stuff on the top of it. And then they have quiche, and they have different things in the bakery, which is really, really cool. Then next to that is the burger bar, which is always making fresh burgers. So it's very hard to walk in there and not have a fresh burger. I promise you that, especially at night. And then next to that is the eggs. I call it the egg station because it literally serves eggs all day long. It's like they have chickens downstairs that are literally like, here's more eggs, here's more eggs, here's more eggs. If you ever wondered where all the eggs went, they go to cruise ships. That's where they go. And the other thing that they serve right in that same section is the fresh made food, like that might be the meal of the day, basically. So like sometimes they'll have an Asian meal of the day, or during the day they keep it simple where they'll have grilled chicken breast and some mashed potatoes and then a vegetable. So that's like the hot meal of the day. And at night they'll do like an Asian night. They'll have butter chicken sometimes. So they'll do an Indian night. Trying to think. No pasta, though. I don't think I've ever seen pasta. They do have the best mac and cheese you'll ever eat there. And it's only one night, and it doesn't come back the rest of the time. So look for it and get it when you see it. It's creamy. It's gooey. It's fantastic. If you love mac and cheese, go that night and get it all because it is so good. And Ariana is behind this camera giggling because we ate it one time at like 1 a.m, just shoveling in cold mac and cheese, which was pretty hysterical that it was super cold. But then around the corner is, I think it's Taco About It, which is, or maybe it's a noodle place first. I can't remember which one's first, but there's tacos and noodles, and then the panini place. So all of that's upstairs, and it's all made to order, which is really, really cool. And then on Scarlet, they have a bar up there, which is brand new. So Scarlet's the only one that has the bar, like a really, really nice bar that's up there, which is really, really cool. But basically what I'm going with this food is that if you like buffets, they don't have a buffet, but they have what's better than a buffet, and you can eat all you want, honestly. So don't stress about not having buffets. Don't not go on Virgin because you're upset about the buffets, because I promise you, you'll be happy with what's up there. I mean, I hope you'll be happy with what's up there because there's just so much to offer. So I do love that about it. The other thing, if you're used to cruising and you're kind of concerned about Virgin because you've just heard that they're different, one of my favorite things is that my clients will call me and they'll say, oh my gosh, I have a 215 embarkation time. This is terrible. And I'm like, that's amazing. And they're like, no, it's not. 2:15 is terrible. How do I get earlier? And I'm like, how much earlier? Because they don't start boarding till 1:45. So the cool thing about Virgin is they don't start boarding till 1:45. So while that is difficult for some because you check out of your hotel at 11, you're kind of like, what do I do with my life? Until then, there's plenty of things that you can do in Miami. Go check out that episode because there is another episode about what to do in Miami in between your checkout time and Virgin. But one of my favorite things is as soon as you get on board, your room is ready. So you don't have to wait for it when you get on board. You're not carrying around, lugging around all your stuff and waiting for your room to get ready. So I just toured a ship the other day and I was watching these people like just laying on the floor outside the door, waiting for them to be like, hello, thank you, your cabin is ready. You know how they make that announcement and then everyone runs to their cabin, which I mean, listen, I get you're carrying around, all this luggage and stuff. But Virgin, you could just go on board, you go straight up to your room, drop your stuff, and you begin your vacation. You grab your drink that's the next thing in your hand after you've dropped your purse and whatever else. Next thing that should be in your hand is your drink and you're off to eat or whatever it is that you do on the first day. So I love that about Virgin is there's no waiting around. But the coolest part too is that on the flip side of that, so we're kind of like, why don't they let us on board, until 1:45? Well, they don't let you on board till 1:45 because they don't kick you off the morning that you debark. So that makes me so happy. So you can 100% stay in your cabin until 10:30. There is no reason to drag your luggage downstairs to eat or upstairs to eat or drag your luggage around because nobody's kicking you out, which is a nice part. So they want you to chill. They want you to enjoy. They want you to sleep in. They want you to enjoy that last day. So it's almost like a hotel, which is so cool. There's no other cruise line that I know that does that. Well, off the top of my head, because they do not kick you out. No one is knocking on your door unless you didn't put the do not disturb sign on and they're worried that maybe you did leave and they didn't know it. But no one's really knocking on your door to make sure that or to kick you out. If they're knocking on your door, they're just making sure that you're there, so that they don't have to, so if they can start cleaning it or not, basically. But that's one of the things I love about it. Like, you don't lose that last day completely. You're not kicked out at 7 a.m. Like all the other cruise lines are like, all right, time for you to go. And you're like, my eyes are barely open. I can't see. And I still I haven't peed yet. I don't even know. They're like, get out. They're kicking you out. You're like, oh my God. So, that does not happen on Virgin, and I love that. So that's one of the things that I absolutely love about this cruise line is that they are different. So if you hear that the cruise line is different and that scares you, don't let it scare you. I promise you, you will probably like the changes. The other thing that's different that people kind of like, is it right for me? I don't know. And this is just different. It's not whether or not it's right for you. There is no cruise director. So if you love to fall in love with the cruise director, if you are one of those people that fall in love with the cruise director and you follow that cruise director around, guess what? You've got 12 people to fall around on here. There's no cruise director, but you can pick your new favorite one out of all the 12 people. So the way that they do it is there's no true cruise director. So there's no announcements made, no cruise director waking you up at 8 a.m. with lovely day, lovely day, lovely day. Because I can't hear that song anymore at 8 a.m. They've taken all these personalities out of the one cruise director and they put them into this cast. And they've made this amazing cast of people that now are all around so everybody can have a chance to hang out with the cruise director. So they're called the Happenings cast, and they are the ones that kind of run everything. So normally in other cruise lines, you have this one cruise director that's the face of the brand, right? Or the face of the ship, I should say. And they're the person that makes all the announcements, that welcomes you to the shows, and they tell you what else is to do. That's a voice you hear over the intercom. I mean, this person's all over the place. And then they have their little minions, usually, right? That kind of run everything else. And you have no clue who those people are. You don't know who those people are. You have no idea who they are. You just see them at trivia. They come in. They're like, who is the singer of Don't Stop Believing? Oh, ding, 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 ding. But that is not how Virgin works. You will see all the Happenings cast. They all have a ton of personality, massive amounts of personality. And they're at all the different events based on their quote unquote character. And I don't want to say that because it sounds like they're playing a role, because they're not. Some of them are playing a role, but there's a foodie on there. So the foodie will run all of the food things. So any sort of beverage tasting or any sort of food games or whatnot, that foodie runs that. there's an artist on there. So the artist will run all of the boozy paintings, which is so much fun. So if you paint or think you like to paint or think that, it sounds like fun to paint, go join boozy painting. It's super fun and I'm terrible at it. I should probably start putting mine up around here just so you can see how bad I am at it. But no, super fun. So all of the happenings cast does have a personality and they or characteristics that go along with their actual role in the happenings cast. So that's completely different. So when people say that, obviously the things that are the same is, there's a lot of partying in terms of, themed parties. I shouldn't say partying as in like people drinking and having a good time. That of course happens. Theme parties, meaning Scarlet Night is obviously one of their big things. It's an amazing, amazing night. I remember the first time I learned about it, I was like, what am I getting myself into? Because when you read the description, which 100% I wish I had screenshot it, and maybe I did, and if I did screenshot it, I'm going to post it up here because it's hilarious, because it's a little like, oh God, what is this we're getting ourselves into? One of the disclaimers was, don't touch anybody, just touch yourself. And I was like, what is this thing we're doing? And it was so funny. And I will tell you a really funny story that the first time I was going to go on the cruise, I was going to invite my dad. And my dad was actually going to be my shipmate. And because Kelly had her own room. And so I was like, I was going to invite my dad to be my shipmate. And I had him going for a while until I realized that on the Seriously Suite, you can't divide the bed. So I was like, Daddy, so here's the thing. We can't divide the bed in the Seriously Suite. So do you still want to come and sleep in the bed with me? And he was like, I don't know, Sam. And then I sent him the screenshot of what Scarlet Night, like the description of Scarlet Night. And he's like, what is this? And I go, I don't know, but I'm excited to find out. And he's like, yeah, but not with your father. So he's like, go enjoy. So we did not go on the cruise together. It took me about a year, 2 years to get him on board, maybe a year and a half to get him on board. So he finally got on board with my mom and we had the best time, and he's been on board a couple times since, but not alone with me. And if we do, we got to stay in the sea terrace because that's the one that splits apart. So anyway, so oh gosh, I totally went off on a tangent. I don't remember saying parties. So the theme parties are always great, just like every other cruise line. The shows are good. They're a little bit eccentric. So that's one of the things that people kind of complain about. And they say, oh gosh, the shows aren't, if you like Broadway shows, you're not going to like these shows. They're definitely eccentric. They went out and found something different. They went out and found more artsy shows, in my opinion. And by the way, theater is my background. Broadway, love it. It was my background. I was in Broadway National Tour, so I know all about theater. I know all about performing, and definitely these shows are a little bit more artsy in that sense. Now, have they toned it down a bit? Yes. So I will say, but it's still never ever, in my opinion, going to be what you see on all these other cruise lines where they're big Broadway shows, like where the lights and the camera and all the, I'm kidding on the camera, but you know what I mean, with all the sets and the special effects and all that stuff. I mean, there's one show on another cruise ship that's flying drones, for God's sakes. It's amazing, but it's not going to happen on Virgin. It's more simple. It's more just entertainment. And a lot of it's chill entertainment. So if you like, sitting in a bar and listening to music or some really amazing performer sing and play the guitar, then you're going to like Virgin, because that's a lot of what it is. And it's all different types of music. So it ranges from folk all the way up to country. And well, I gotta be honest, I don't see that much country, but a lot of rock is coming a little bit more, is coming on board a little bit more, but top 40, that kind of thing, Latin, a lot of Latin. So they do a really good job in a mix, but I gotta be honest, now that I think about it, country's not my thing, but if it's yours, know that you're not finding it on board. Now that I think about it, it's not happening. So know that. And I do think, and I've said this forever, I do think that they missed the mark, unfortunately, on the age range. So the age range was and still remains, I think, about 35 to 55 or something like that is kind of the sweet spot. And it's come down just a little bit, I will tell you that. But that age range loves a good 90s and 80s, and they missed that mark completely. And they missed the rock portion of that, which is kind of interesting. So that's my opinion. But I'm trying to think about entertainment too. They do comedy. So there is a comedian that comes on board. They have a show on one of the shows on one of the ships is called Lulz, and it's a bunch of comedians, which is cool. They do have an act that comes on, and usually it's a comedian that'll come on, or a magician / comedian, or both, mind bender or that kind of thing. So you'll see a bunch of stuff like that as part of the rotating acts that come on board. But yeah, I mean, if Broadway type shows is your must, you're not getting on a Virgin. So I don't mean to burst your bubble in that and make you say don't go because of that, because trust me, you should still go. But if that's what you're looking for, don't, basically know that that's not going to happen. And I don't know that's going to happen anytime soon anyways, because it's just not built that way. And hopefully they're not trying to be mainstream, because you can find that on other cruise lines, right? So the one thing I love about Virgin is I want them, and I hope for them, that they stick to the fact that they're different and not keep changing and going mainstream, because there's enough mainstream, right? Stay different, live in it, live in that lane, and love it. And that's what it is. And for me, I love it because it's such a good different, and the things that are different are great. Like, you don't ever hear from the captain. You don't ever hear from the cruise director, because there is no cruise director. It's just quiet. Once you get on board, you're like, oh, this is nice. You don't realize it. The other thing that's really great about Virgin is everything is like in the cabin, everything is very technical. Like it's all like everything's on an iPad. So you've got all that on there. There's some really cool things in there. The other thing too that I love is that they don't nickel and dime you. And so you're going to be used to that on other cruise lines. You're not going to get that on here. So when you go, and this is what jogged my memory, was that when you go to bed at night and you're like, oh, I kind of just want to chill and watch a movie and fall asleep as I'm falling asleep, it's all free. You don't have to pay for any movies. You don't have 6 channels, and one of them being the channel of the beautiful ocean camera that's off the front of the ship. That's one of your channels to watch. And honestly, you end up watching it because the other 6 channels, the other 5 channels suck. No, that's not Virgin. You have like literally every movie from Singing in the Rain all the way to Wicked that just came out brand new literally yesterday on your iPad to watch, which I love that about them, because it makes it just all around a great non-nickel and diming and chillin' vacation, honestly. So remember that. They will not get nickel and dime. What you see is what you get, and what you pay for on the ship will probably be the only thing that you'll probably pay for on the ship is possibly extra alcohol if you didn't buy a big enough bar tab, and any of the like onboard activities, like if you decide to do a mixology class, or you decide to do the painting boozy bevies, or maybe you gambled or you went shopping or to the spa, and you might have even had Sailor Loot for that, so you may not even pay for anything. So we do have a lot of Sailor Loot here in the agency, so if you haven't booked and this is your first time going, please call us. We have a ton of deals. We sell a ton of Virgin. We're award-winning agency. We have many of us in the agency that are award winners because we sell a ton of Virgin. And honestly, I've been on board, oh my gosh, I think I'm in the low 40s at this point. Like, I've been on board so many times. So I've been on board probably like 42, 43 times, which is insanity. I don't even know. Sometimes when people ask me that number, I'm like embarrassed. I don't even want to say it, because it's kind of like, should I tell anyone that number? It's kind of embarrassing. They've only been around for like 3 years. But that's how much I've been on board. And there's reasons why that I was on board all the time. Good reasons, not just because, I just decided I'm going to go sailing. Let's go sailing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope that I remembered everything. I took no notes. I just flew that off the top of my head. And that's basically what I would have done had you called me and said, is Virgin right for me? This is the conversation we would have had. And it would have been long. And you'd have been like, that girl talks way too much. But I hope I hit everything. But honestly, the key points are, is Virgin right for you? And the things that you're looking for are no nickel and diming. Trust me, price is what it is, and it's for a reason. You're not going to pay much more except for the things that I just told you about, and also Shore Things if you wanted to add that on there. And no kiddos, which is amazing. And what else? I'm trying to think. No nickel and dime. That kind of sums up a lot of the stuff that I talked about. Buffets. Your cabin's really nice. Yeah, I think I pretty much nailed it. Hopefully that answers your questions. One of the things, I will touch on this really quickly. One of the things that comes up a lot is that people are stressed about swingers. I'm just going to go there. The upside down pineapple. Going to be honest with you, I see it. Yes. Have I seen it? Is it a joke? I have no idea if people are just joking about it, but see it on people's doors. I think they're kidding and probably playing with their friends. And honestly, the pineapple could be moving from door to door for all I know. I really don't know. But fact of the matter is, do you see the people swinging? There is nobody swinging unless they're swinging from, the swing that's outside next to the teeter-totter, because there are swings out there. But I don't see anybody doing that. So know that, it's not out in the open. I don't know what you might think is happening. I mean, people are probably swinging just like they probably are in your neighborhood. Let's be honest. But it's no different. You're not going to be approached at the bar. And I honestly, in the 40 something cruises that I've been on, I've never been approached to quote unquote swing. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just not cool enough. Maybe I have to get cooler and people ask me. I don't know. Honestly, I've never experienced it. So I have heard stories, whether or not they're true or not. I don't know. Listen, you read stuff on the internet. I'm going to promise you this. Don't listen to everything you read on the internet. I promise you that it's not true. And know that I wouldn't skip Virgin. I'd 100% try it. And don't worry about upside down pineapples. You're not going to turn into one by the time you leave. So with that being said, thank you for joining for this episode of Is Virgin Voyages Right for Me? Thank you for joining for this, and watch for the next episode. And like I said, if you have not booked, please call Fabulous Adventures Travel Company, because we have so many great deals, and we would love to help you book, especially if this is your first time. So thanks for joining, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye. And we'll leave you with our favorite phrase, which is, you float our boat. All right. We'll see you guys later. Bye.